Well, Estonia is a key hub in helping to protect NATO allies in Eastern Europe. Kusti Salm is the permanent secretary for the Estonian Ministry of Defence, and he joins us now live from the Estonian capital of Tallinn via Skype. It's very good to have you, sir. I want to start with Washington dismissing as untenable Warsaw's plan to hand the US fighter jets to boost Ukraine's fight against Russia. What do you make of that offer by the Poles and the decision by the US not to take them?
Well, handing Ukraine the lethal aid, defensive aid, is one of the key parts of the strategy towards helping Ukraine. For example, here in Estonia, we have in total supported Ukraine with 220 million euros worth of lethal and defensive aid of weapons and ammunition. And clearly, when it comes to airplanes, then they qualify as a defensive weapons. We see that there is no intent of going and bombing the Belarusian or Russian cities. It's meant for defending the Ukraine. But when it comes to the decision, then it's clearly up to Polish and the US government to get to the conclusion on this. I think for the international community, it is important that we wouldn't get stuck into this. There are plenty of other weapons and ammunition that can be given over, and just keep the narrative open. The unity of the West is the most important thing here.
But people will be asking, so what is the diplomatic difference then between providing sort of anti-tank missiles and providing fighter jets? And it's the fighter jets, of course, that the Ukrainian president says his country needs to avoid a humanitarian catastrophe. Another word he has used is genocide. And he is now saying that it is the responsibility of Western nations to help, to which you say what?
Well, I'm not in position to speak on behalf of Polish government or the US government, but what I can assume is that there are some.
But you're a NATO member, of course.
Yeah, we are a NATO member, and NATO is doing, and NATO, first of all, is a defensive alliance for providing the collective defense of its members. But NATO and all its member states are doing a lot for supporting Ukraine. But one of the key elements here in trying to contain this crisis, and not only contain, but putting forward a strategy that will end with pushing Russia back and off from the territorial Ukraine. And the key part of this is to avoid escalation. Making something twice as worse is never a good strategy or a solution.
Antony Blinken was in Estonia yesterday speaking to your president. We are just waiting. I'm just going to bring some images up for our viewers. We are waiting to hear from Antony Blinken, who is should be very shortly entertaining Liz Truss, who is the British Foreign Secretary in Washington, and we will listen to them when they start speaking. So forgive me if we jump in. What did he achieve in Estonia?
I guess for the Secretary Blinken, the most important message was that the NATO stands united. The pledge for collective defense is ironclad, and we work intensively to make sure that the territorial defense of NATO is assured. But what was also discussed was how to further help Ukraine, how to set a strategy to make sure that we will put an end to this war and make sure that the Ukraine will be restored on its democratic basis.
How concerned are you that this war could spill over at this point? If I'd asked you that 2 weeks ago, I assume that you would have given me a different answer to that which you are about to give me.
Well, to be honest, you are incorrect. Our answer has been pretty much the same since 2008. We have never had illusions on the Russian intent and their sort of aggressive modus operandi. This has just been unveiled now in these recent weeks. But clearly we are concerned. And we are concerned, especially if you look at the Ukrainian map that is very often on the CNN screens. It is usually zoomed in as one, country. But Ukraine is a huge country. Ukrainian border is actually longer than European Union's eastern border from Arctic to Black Sea. And if you count the fronts where Russia has advanced, then this northeastern corner that is painted red, also in your maps, is actually in the size of Belgium, Netherlands, and also Estonia. This is something that they have achieved in a week, although we are all admired by the bravery of Ukrainians. And if you look at the front that they have been put forward in Donbass, from Mariupol to Kharkiv, this is more than 500 kilometers. This is a distance that you can draw from Warsaw to Berlin,
right,
or you can travel from Brussels to Paris and back in this, and also in the east. Or in the south, it's 400-kilometer front. So if you would distribute it out for European map, then this is equal for how the Second and the First World War started.
Understood. Is there any evidence that the military support you and other NATO allies are providing Ukraine is actually helping it fight off Russian advances? It has to be asked at this point.
I think it does. The Russian economy is back in 80s, after a week, after 10 days. 80s when the Brezhnev was in the office in Soviet Union. This is almost 40-year decline in their economy. And the weapons aid that have been given over for all the allies is something that is, immense amounts that is helping them in all the fronts. The unity that all the Western countries, and not only sort of geographical Western, but also Japan and the countries from the East, are really forming a united front that gets the price tag very high for Russia. This has been the sort of strategic attempt from the beginning to get the price for the war as high as possible. And I think there the maximum has been achieved.
Sir, thank you. It's good to have you on. Appreciate your time. I know you're busy. Thank you.